It's really hot outside. So I want to say welcome back. We meet again. It's our 4th annual CockTales. And I see... I really am sweating. It's really hot. It's hot. Yeah. But we meet again. It's our 4th year this year, and it's obvious that the show is growing exponentially because there's probably about 400 people in here. And I'm really, really proud that you guys came on this really beautiful day to be in here with us tonight. So I really, really, really appreciate that. I also want to say it's 420 today. I just want to recognize that. Maybe some of you guys were straddling and kind of, were late. For that, you're forgiven. So again, my name is Ismael and Jeffrey, and I work for the Safe Place, and this is...
My name is Jeffrey. I'm a social work student here. And first off, pyramid alternatives, throw your hands in.
My former cohorts right there, really loud.
Current cohorts.
So I just want to say that the Safe Place is a sexual assault prevention program that I've been with for the past nearly 5 years. And as a part of our prevention program, I created the men's program called Men Can Stop Violence. And so hence, we are all right in front of you guys. The Men Can Stop Violence is an anti-violence social justice program here at San Francisco State. And we address sexual violence and intimate partner violence here within our campus community. I'm really, really fucking sweating. And that's not because I'm actually not even nervous anymore. I mean, I've been doing this for 4 years. It is really hot under these lights, and you don't want me to be naked because it's not cute. So, take it off. Yeah.
I think this goes down.
So we believe men have a special role in addressing all forms of violence. And again, our #1 mission is to...
So we're here to educate other men on our campus in becoming male allies and really moving towards social justice. We recognize that if the majority of violent crimes are perpetrated by men, don't we also have to be part of the solution? And that's what we're here, addressing homophobia, transphobia, sexual violence, sexism, any violence really.
And really, for the past 3 years, Jeff actually has been with us. He came through our doors as someone who wanted to really address violence in our campus, and I think for that, I really appreciate him. I also want to acknowledge the fact that, actually, Jeff Briz here just recently won the Dean of Students Social Justice Award yesterday. So I want to...
I truly do learn from the best, so I really appreciate it.
So I do sort of want to, present what I wrote, just a tidbit about who you are. So just a little bit of information about Jeff. So Jeff's dedication goes beyond his desire to effect change locally and globally. I believe his attempt to heal our campus community and communities beyond stems from his understanding of his own healing process, and that social justice is not just political for Jeff. Social justice is also very personal, and he understands that the personal is political. He is determined to empower all men that they can be allies with other men and women in addressing violence to effect social change. And for that reason alone, Jeff is obviously the winner for that Social Justice Award. So Jeff, again, I just want to acknowledge that. So,
thank you.
So for the last couple of years, we have created events such as Walk in Our Heels that mobilize men addressing violence. We've co-created a Clothesline Project, honoring our right to love, National Coming Out Day, Transcendence. So we have one of the most dedicated students here on campus who provide presentations to groups such as fraternities and sororities, athletics and residential life, and because April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, this show was created. So for the past couple of years, the theme fathers and sons kept on coming up. And for some of you guys who've been with us for the last couple of years, who's a veteran here? Who's been, right, those folks in the middle? And on the side. So the last couple of years, this whole idea about men's relationships with their fathers or their sons kept coming up. And so I felt the need to really try to create that space for them. And so, you know, as you guys know, Jeff was part of our show a couple of years ago, and I sort of want to get your feedback about your experience on that.
So I did perform 2 years ago in CockTales honoring our stories. And what I can tell you from my experience is that it was the most challenging, profound, and overall one of the most amazing experiences I ever had. This show has given me the space to really heal from past wounds, help me re-examine some things, and ultimately find peace and to grow as a man and as a human being. And so what you'll see tonight is the product of countless hours, days, weeks, even sometimes months of really articulating those deepest feelings and emotions that we feel at a very soul level. And what we're doing tonight is creating that space of total acceptance of what is and who we are, and just allowing us to just be. So actually a couple weeks ago, my beautiful girlfriend here in the front row brought me to this conference, a post-secret conference. And the founder, Frank Warren, said one of the most profound things I ever heard. He said, our deepest stories, our deepest secrets and experiences don't have to be these walls that keep us separated from one another, but they can in turn be bridges that connect you and I. And that's what this is really all about. Oftentimes, sharing our stories and having them heard is the beginning stages of empowerment and creating community and affecting change within ourselves, in our relationships, in our families, in our communities, and even in our global community. And that's what this show is all about, and I'm just so grateful that all of you are here on this journey with us, because really, we're all on this journey together, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Joe. So finally, before we begin the show, I talked a little bit about product versus process last year. I don't know if you guys remember, but the product tonight really is this show. And you know, being the guys being on stage, you being here present with us is the product. But the reality is actually the process is the most important thing, right? That me working with these guys and really solidifying their story, sitting with them as they create and refine and really come to terms with what their true story is the gift. And so for that, I thank them for that. The one thing I also want to mention is the power of vulnerability. As I've talked to these guys the last couple of months, is to allow themselves to be in a place of vulnerability. Because at that point and at that time, when you share your vulnerability to your audience, is at the point of connection. That the person in front of you, you are connecting with them. And I know I see a lot of clinicians and therapists who are nodding their head, right? But at that point, you can clap. I know. Right? But our clients, at the point of their vulnerability, is that we are holding their story. And so tonight, you guys are holding that story. So, without further ado, let's start CockTales.